Agent Romanoff. You miss me?
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
Captain.
Your Highness.
Captain, big fan, Spider-Man. Hey everyone.
Hey guys, and welcome to Film Artsy, your number one source for all things films and movies. And over the years, we've really been following a lot of the intricate details that go into some of the movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And one that recently resurfaced after the release of the Wakanda Files is a little detail that came from Iron Man 3, which is really unique, getting this information in the context of where the MCU is now and the greater scope of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, especially because it almost seems like Iron Man 3 happened so long ago, but it is really interesting to get a little closer look or a relook at a very important and often kind of brushed off or brushed over detail from Iron Man 3. And that, of course, is the character War Machine, or Rhodey, who goes through a really unique temporary transformation in that movie. In the Wakanda Files, it actually details and talks a little bit about this situation and this character, but if you remember back in Iron Man 3, they went through this process where the government took the War Machine suit that Rhodey used and took from Tony Stark and rebranded it as the Iron Patriot. There's even a really funny interaction between Rhodey and Tony Stark where they talk a little bit about the rebrand.
Same suit, but painted red, white, and blue. Look at that. And they also renamed him Iron Patriot, just in case if the paint was too soft.
It tested well with focus groups, all right?
I am Iron Patriot.
Listen, War Machine was a little too aggressive, all right? This sends a better message.
And real quick, we wanted to give a huge shout out to our Instagram page. If you guys didn't know, we just passed over 8,000 followers over on Instagram. So we'd really appreciate if you guys headed over to our Instagram, scroll through some of our posts, maybe hit the like button and followed us over there. We do a lot of really interesting content if you love comic books, the MCU, DCEU, whatever it is. If you just like movies, it's a really cool page. We've been working really hard on it and it would mean the world to us if you went over and checked it out as well. Now, what's really interesting is in the scope of the MCU, looking back at the MCU. With Iron Man 3, this was one of those movies that took place after the events of the first Avengers movie. And one thing that often kind of gets forgotten when you look at the scope and the timeline of the MCU is that in New York City, that was the first time there was this extraterrestrial attack in that scale that humanity and the population had ever seen. And while the Avengers was such an epic and intense movie, we don't really get to see the aftermath, or we don't see how regular people reacted to the complete fallout that happened after the New York invasion. So what was really cool is we got this detail with Iron Man 3 and War Machine where we saw that the US government was trying in a way to repurpose or rebrand the asset that they had into something maybe a little more patriotic and use a little bit of propaganda to promote the character and push it forward. And in the Wakanda Files, we actually get detail that this was an intention directly to try to alter the public image after the fear and paranoia surrounding the New York invasion from the first Avengers movie. It's really cool to see that side of how humanity was in fear of what happened in the first Avengers movie, because while we see it explore a lot of Tony Stark and his PTSD, we don't see the larger scale of it. So it was really cool to get this detail in the Wakanda Files, and we wanted to talk about it a little bit. Now, of course, the branding didn't stick, and we see War Machine return later on with the more classic design that we are used to, but it is something interesting and unique that they did along the way, especially if it's fueled mostly by the idea of building up propaganda. Now, there's also a lot of visual similarities to Captain America, and what we think is really unique about that is that Captain America served as another propaganda tool at the beginning of that movie. So we see this kind of parallel drawn between these movies, and we thought that was really interesting and something a lot of people overlook. And thanks to the new release of the Wakanda Files, we get a closer look at that, and we think that's awesome. So what do you guys think about the Iron Patriot or War Machine? Which name do you like better? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on for more videos like this. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video.
I'm about to.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Hi.
See you guys.
Know anybody?